Alright, and as promised, we are finally back here streaming to you guys once again. And before we get right into this, and this is the most important, anybody in the stream right now, we need to get everybody clicking that like button as fast as they can, sharing this stream to their friends and family. Let's get going right now, and let's jump into the updates. Now again guys, everybody right now that joins, click as fast as you can that like button, and that will allow us to jump right into the content ASAP. Now of course guys, Russia has declared basically war on Ukraine, and they've intensified civilian bombing and severe bombing all over Kyiv, Kharkiv, and multiple other cities. As of now, they've also released that they will be doing a truce to let civilians leave Kharkiv and Kyiv so that they can bombard after these civilians leave. This is where things intensify, and this is why you must click the like button, because this is going to be serious. And I don't want to have to repeat myself 100 times. So if you guys could quickly click the like button, we'll jump right into the content. We'll also be hosting plenty of debates, discussions, and a bunch of other things. And that being said, let's get started. Now, of course, as you guys know, Russia has recently decided to bombard Kyiv specifically because this is where a lot of the government, enterprises are. A lot of the government buildings, and basically where the president of Kyiv, or the president of Ukraine is. The president of Ukraine earlier posted a video saying, listen, I'm still in Kyiv, I'm still in Ukraine. And so what does the government of Russia do? Very simple and easy question. They try to bombard the hell out of Kyiv right now, and not only that, are declaring a truce so that they can continue on bombarding. The truce is only going to last for a very short period of time. I think I read it's going to start tomorrow, and then it's going to go on for a few hours, I think 12 hours. And the idea is to get everybody out of Kyiv. And you can only guess what's going to happen right after that. Literally severe, heavy bombardments. And that you can only imagine. So we're going to get started on that. Guys, everybody hit the like button. It definitely helps. So please hit the like button. DDS says, good news. Ukraine's Defense Intelligence Agency claims that the country's forces have killed the second Russian general within days of a first general killed last week. Russia's major general has been targeted. General Vitaly Gersmon was killed near Kharkiv, the agency said on Monday night local time. Really what we're noticing is Ukraine is putting in a lot of those heavy attacks as of now. They're trying to get as many attacks as they can because they know that the second Russian forces come back and dominate the skies, they will not be able to put any more attacks. So they're trying to give it all their might right now and target strategic tactical units of Russia. We've also heard that another group of Russian soldiers going to basically take out the president of Ukraine have also been hit and have also been taken down. And this as well as comes after multiple attempts that have been all failed. Because again, this is this critical time period. After this period, you're going to see Russian forces really dominate the skies. And then these critical attacks that are happening right now by Ukrainian forces are not going to be able to happen anymore. Russia's army is definitely a big failure as of now, says DDS. And again, we will only see this evolve until Russia's able to really take over the Air Force. And then even then, what happens if air defense systems come in? Then Russia's going to fail once again. We ask everybody in the chat right now to please hit the like button and share this to your friends and family, because today is a critical day. As of now, there's been multiple attempts to cause a hold or a truce to let people leave Ukraine. Kyiv has been hit multiple times, one of the most densely populated areas with over 3 million population-wise. And all of these are facing the consequences of this. So what is planned as of now by Russian forces and Ukrainian forces? And what can we see? And what is the real breaking news? We're going to go over that right now, because things are really intensifying in both Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, and by the Russian army. Again, Russia's taking a lot of these hits, so you can only expect them to get more mad, and that's going to cause them to continue that circle. Where severe bombardments target different parts of Ukraine, mainly being a lot of the main cities, including Kharkiv, Kiev, Melbourne, and even Odessa. These are all strategic and tactical places for Russia and for the Ukrainian side. And it's basically a battle for who gets there first. Everybody in the stream, stay right now. We have some breaking news for you. Definitely breaking news right here. There has been reports of Russian intelligence units, Ukrainian intelligence units. No, Russian. They're Russian spies, so I guess you can say Russian intelligence units. Russian spies within Russia telling the United States intelligence that the war is literally a major failure for Russia, and that it can only end the way Germany ended in World War II, with a complete destruction of Russia. Again, what happens if Russia really loses the war? Does Russia get split into two pieces and taken over by NATO and other countries? We are going to be really looking more and analyzing that aspect of things. Again, we ask everybody to stay in the stream, hit the like button, of course. Everybody smash that like button to get the YouTube algorithm working, because lately the YouTube algorithm has not been on our side. But again, this is breaking news. I want to make this clear. There has been a Russian general targeted and has now become part of the casualty list. This is the second general, Russian general to be specific. Ukrainian forces say they target Russian generals, and specifically have now taken out one of the senior commanders to the Russian army in Kharkiv. Complete destruction. This also comes as reports from inside the Russian army say there's over 10,000 casualties. Russian casualties, of course. This is where things intensify. And it only gets worse from here. DDS says, lucky for Ukraine, and Ukrainian army have been trainee perfect since 2014 from other countries' army. Ivan says, hello people. I don't think Russians would let the other countries take their country like that. But what happens if they don't have an option, really? Again, if Russia gets it, like, what happens, think about it like this. What happens if Russia's failed attempt to take Ukraine causes a major failure, and now they retreat back to the Russian border? And then what? What happens after that? Could Ukraine start launching attacks on Russia? You know, it could, maybe it does happen. Maybe in the name of, you know, the Western countries backing Ukraine through military supplies, Russia starts getting bombarded by Ukraine, and the tables flip. Instead of Russia bombing Ukraine, Ukraine starts bombing Russia. Imagine that. A Green Wave says, hello. I'm going to try and drum up some viewers here in a minute. Thank you so much. Sounds good. Just make sure you hit the like button. So do your own part by hitting the like button. Again, the YouTube algorithm is really not on our side right now. So if everybody could hit the like button and share this to your friends and family and people you know, and on Facebook and Twitter, it would do us good, because YouTube right now is glitching. Jerry says, sup, yo, how's it going? Evan says, flipping the script. Yes, that's what we're saying. What happens if Russia literally starts getting destroyed? You're having now, you know, breaking news that Russian commanders and Russian generals are dying on the line. We've seen literally complete destruction to Russian warships as of now. We've seen complete destruction to, you know, a lot of tanks and a lot of really Russian military. We've seen the Russian military fuel supply that was going to the convoy that is stalled for like days now get targeted by Ukrainian forces. Now what do? They are literally in a bad spot right now. They're in a corner. And again, they can't just nuke Ukraine. That's not how it works. And so what could happen? And this is the big question here. As Ukraine gets more and more supplies, maybe we see the tables turn. And maybe we reach a point where Ukraine starts bombing Russia. Just imagine that. Again, this is quite intense. And it does feel like, as of now, Russia's taking a major hit. And I mean a major hit. Evan Reed says, shouted you out on my Twitch stream. Thank you so much, Evan. Guys, this is where things are really getting serious. Again, we are back streaming to you guys live the Ukrainian Kiev Russian conflict. And we have multiple streams showing you guys what's going on in multiple different cities of Ukraine. Ivan says maybe a civil war will erupt in Russia just like World War I. It is possible. It is most definitely possible. With all these sanctions, and really I can only imagine if Russia were to lose this war with Ukraine and not be able to capture Ukraine, imagine all the soldiers that have died for a war that was a complete failure for Russia. Just think about that. Imagine families losing, you know, these children and their children, soldiers, Russian soldiers, for a purpose that is absolutely zero. There is no purpose right now. If Russia loses the war, Russia went into war for nothing, and that means complete destruction. At this point, guys, we have two real ways to look at Russia. Either they come through, they win the war, they suffer severe casualties, but at least, and this is how they see it, I think. As we talked to somebody yesterday, and I posted the interview as well, just earlier today, I posted it on the channel. But Russia has two options now. Either they can win the war, but face severe casualties, because that's what it looks like is going to happen. They're going to face casualties that they didn't expect ever. Or, you know, so they win the war, they capture Kiev, but face severe casualties. Or they lose the war, and not only did they face severe casualties, but they end up losing, or in this case Putin ends up losing all the supporters that were supporting him to go to war. And this is what it's looking like. Russia's taking a major hit, bigger hit than what they've expected. They've got now U.S. intelligence saying that, you know, spies in Russia are telling U.S. intelligence that this Russian war is a complete failure and looks like it's going to end the way Germany ended in World War II. What does that mean? What is Germany ending in World War II? You know what happened when Germany ended World War II? It was basically Germany got split up into pieces because they lost so bad that Russia took half of Germany and the US took the other half of Germany. Could that happen with Russia? Could Russia be split into multiple pieces? We'll have to see that. Actually, that is a good poll. Sam Blue says, poll to the group. Are you pro-Russian, pro-Ukrainian, or neutral? You know what? We'll put this. You know what? I might as well. But we're gonna put a poll. But what do you guys think right now? What do you guys think? How do you guys think this war is gonna end? Do you think Russia's gonna get taken over? Or do you think, you know, Russian troops are gonna take Ukraine? Let's get what's in you guys think right here in the chat as I set up this quick poll right here. Neutral. All right, there we go. There we go. There is now a poll. Guys, right now, hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you right now share this with your friends and family. Again, the YouTube algorithm is extremely terrible as of now. So every share and every like really helps the YouTube algorithm hopefully get fixed. Ivan says, the Ukrainians are going to bombard Russia, but I don't think they will invade. That is destruction. Yes. Again, David says, don't support genocide. Chris says, pro-freedom and pro-democracy. Guys, let's start off like this as well. Where is everybody chatting from? Let's get some of these locations up. Let's give some shout-outs to some of those areas. But let's also put out a question here. Who do you side with? Let's do that. Which of the following are you? Pro-Russian, pro-Ukrainian, or are you neutral? There's a poll up, and let's get people voting in this. Rubble says, bros, awesome stream. Thank you so much, Ruby. Guys, we just got some breaking news here. Another Russian general has been targeted and taken out by Ukrainian forces. This is a Russian general that is a commander, and he's high up. He's actually a senior commander, and died in the invasion. Again, this was General Vitaly Germosy, the first deputy commander of Russia's 41st Army. Again, he was taken out. And this is, of course, once again, another general was taken out just a few days ago as well. This is crazy. And this is where things really start taking a new turn. What does Russia do when they feel like they're losing this battle? Do they start bombarding all of Ukraine? Bring it to rubble? Does Russia right now decide that the Ukraine has no hope, so we should just bombard Ukraine to rubble and make it a buffer zone, which is complete flat land? Or do we take, a loss and just say we lost Russia, or we lost Ukraine, and pull back into Russia? And then what happens? And if they do that, what happens? Does Ukraine, backed by Western countries, start bombarding Russia? Or, you know what, going back to the first possibility, does Russia even get to a point where they're able to bombard Ukrainian troops and turn it into rubble? There's a lot of questions that hopefully we'll have a bit of a discussion about, and maybe even a debate. But this is where things, again, really change. And this is where the outlook, really changes around the world. Russia and the U.S. were at one point compared together. Does that happen anymore? After this battle, people are really going to change in terms of perspectives. Russia will no longer, especially if they take a major loss and major hit, Russia will no longer even be compared to the U.S. That would be, again, something that is, the world powers are going to change. This war is what's going to change world powers. Really. Does China end up deciding to take Taiwan after this? Rick says it's just going to get nuclear. Is it going to get nuclear? Do you think Russia's going to start bombarding? Is it possible that Russia decides that, we can't take Ukraine, let's nuke the Ukraine capital, Kiev? What do you guys think? That's what I want to hear. I want to hear what you guys think. And if you want to participate in this conversation, I'd be more than happy to put you into a video or a voice call right here in the Discord using the link below. And let's get a discussion going. I want to hear what you guys have to think about this occasion. And what do you guys think about this war? Do you think Russia's going to win? Do you think Russia's going to lose? Do you think Russia's going to start nuking if they feel like they're going to lose? And what happens if they win? Ivan says, don't do it, Russia. I have the high ground. Jerry says, Canada. Shout out to Canada. Rick says, it's going to get nuclear, one time will tell. Didier says, first general taken out by a sniper. Jerry says, war coming our way now with jets from Poland will bring war to NATO. They're also giving pilots will bring World War III. Lion White says, it better not go nuclear. Don't fantasy dying. But what do you guys think is going to happen? Again, guys, the Discord link is down below. Let's get somebody in here and let's hear your side of the story. What do you think is going to happen? Especially as things really take a turn that really, wasn't expected. When you see really Russia taking hits that even they didn't expect, their timelines are now all screwed up. What they thought was going to be a few days war, has turned into a miserable war for their troops, where now a lot of their troops are surrendering. And again, not only do these troops feel like there's no hope in this, but a lot of them feel like there is no purpose for this war. And what does that really mean for the Russian troops? And for Russia as a whole? Again, these are live images from Kyiv and Ukraine, basically all around Ukraine, as we go through and really analyze what's going on. This is where things change, especially when you see, Russia taking major hits. Russia is definitely mad, and this is something that I think everybody understands. But how will they react when you're losing commanders and generals and ships and tanks and all of that stuff? How do you react? Do you react? Do you decide, Russia, we're not going to be able to capture Ukraine, so maybe let's pull out of Ukraine? Or do you decide, let's go all out and make sure we destroy Ukraine, even if it's the destruction of us? How will it go? Which way will it go? Sam Blue says, dude, I don't think Ukraine is winning though. But Ukraine is giving them a hard time, and a harder time than they expected and than the world expected. Yes, maybe if Russia were to focus all its might, they will capture Ukraine. But at what point do you say we're losing more than we're winning? MMJW says, glad to hear you're still safe. Thank you so much. Robbie says, Putin is terminally ill. DDS says, we can all hope nuke ain't end result. Rick says, Putin has to be stopped right on Latin lane. But this is what we're talking about, guys. This is the determiner of how this war is going to proceed. And this is recent. Again, this is 20 minutes ago we're talking, when this general was released to be killed. How will Russia react to this? How will Russia react to the news that they are, getting demolished in this battle? That they're losing their generals, that they're losing their tanks, their warships, they're losing everything they have. And that is what people are questioning. Does Russia decide? What is Putin right now going to decide? People are really going to get pissed, even in Russia. Imagine hearing that you are on the losing side of a battle that you thought you were going to win easily. When Putin went into the war, when Russia went into the war, they thought it was an easy win. They just go in, capture Ukraine, and it's done. They had expected 2-3 days maybe. But it's been now a week, over a week. This is like the 14th day, I think. Maybe somewhere there. What happens? How is Putin going to react to this? Again, a lot of people are saying Putin went into this war, it was a personal war. He didn't like Zelensky, and he went into this war. How's he going to feel now when he feels like Zelensky is destroying him? Ivan says, why the generals of Russia are so exposed to enemy fire? Again, I don't know. And nobody really knows. Why is Russia taking a huge hit when they're supposed to be a first world power that are insanely modernized and developed? And like Jerry said, guys, everybody hit the like button. Guys, please, please, please. If there's one thing I can ask from all of you guys, it is to just make sure you do your part by liking the stream. And please share this to your friends and family and on your social medias. LMJW says, didn't Russia obtain control of the Odessa and Ukrainian ports? No, they haven't. Every time they go through and try to obtain one of these ports, they get knocked out. And like today, a ship that was attacking the Odessa port was bombarded and was sunken by Ukrainian troops. And that is what we're saying. Putin went into this war, and a lot of people are saying it's a personal problem. Just imagine how big this problem is going to get when he hears that he's losing this war against, Zelensky, which is the guy that, for some people, he went to war just to get. Rick Thomas says, I find it hard to believe that NATO will just stand by while civilians are getting murdered. The family that gets knocked out while escaping broke my heart. We gotta jump in. Rick also says, easy for me to say from my comfortable home in America. Evan says, China's seeing what an invasion would look like if Biden remembers when have a defense pact with them. Just think about, how will this war reflect in China and Taiwan? Will China decide that, let's take over Taiwan, look at the international community, and look at NATO, they're not going to participate, so we might as well take over Taiwan? Is that what happens for China and Taiwan as a result of this Russian-Ukrainian invasion? Or not? Or does China get scared now that, look, maybe we underestimated Taiwan, the exact same way Russia underestimated Ukraine? We are seeing this as it happens. As Russian troops take major hits by Ukrainian forces, a force that they they underestimated severely and that they thought would have zero use. A lot of these troops that went into Ukraine were told that they were going to open their arms for them, that the Ukrainian force was just waiting to accept them because they didn't have the power to defend their country. But this is completely wrong. And they noticed, and they found that out the hard way. They noticed that that the Ukrainians will not give up their country or their freedom, except without a battle. And up until now, the battle is still raging. Noodles says China now owns Russia's future. MNBW says, let's hope China does not take Taiwan. Exactly. Let's hope, the world goes into peace. But the big question is, does China feel comfortable now that Russia's at war? And now that they notice that the international communities are not going to interfere with Ukraine? And maybe they feel like that's it. That's a golden ticket. No international community is going to involve in Taiwan either. The same way they didn't involve in Ukraine. Robbie says, Russian logistics sucks, therefore they'll lose. Yeah, again, we've seen Russian tanks stuck in mud. What worse can it get? Imagine having your tanks and all of the gear stuck in mud. That's on its own is a huge loss for you. Colin says, Putin has made his biggest mistake of his life, and he now knows it, leaving him desperate to punish all countries that are imposing sanctions on Russia. He now has nothing to lose, but use his nukes. China won't do anything, says DDSRDD. Now that, you know what? Let's go back and discuss Colin's point. Colin's saying, really, now that all those sanctions have taken place, and now that everything has taken place on Russia, and they've lost the battle, basically, they've lost everything. He has nothing to lose, and he might as well just use his nuke. And he's referencing Putin. Is that possible? Is it possible that, Russia, if they see that, we're losing this battle with Ukraine, there's no way we're going to win it, that he says, screw everything, let's go and nuke Ukraine's capital, Kiev, and nuke Ukraine. And do you think the world is going to stand by and watch, or are they going to interfere? Like when the U.S. nuked, Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan, what did the world do? Nothing. Could that be a repeat of World War II's ending? Like Japan? Where, Russia nukes Ukraine and that's it? And everybody just kind of quiets down and gets silent and World War III doesn't begin? Ryan says, Chernobyl and the other plants are cut off from communication. I heard that's unacceptable, as is all this horrible war. Again, guys, please hit the like button. Again, I just ask for the like button. That's all I'm asking. Just hit the like button. And if you want to top everything off, because, again, the YouTube algorithm is garbage right now in this situation. They're not boosting the stream. So if you could share this stream so that we let everybody know what's going on, because this is, again, important. Rick says, feel like the world is going down the toilet. DDS says, without negotiation, Russia lost a lot of bargaining strength. China collects power as Russia fails. Taiwan is much smaller. Russia was not welcomed. Molotov cocktails are not flowers. So basically Noodle says that now that Russia's lost, and now that Russia lost to Ukraine, maybe it's giving China the green light that, look, Ukraine is significantly bigger, and maybe they see it as Russia went in with little power and they're destroying Ukraine. Maybe that's how they see it. Maybe they don't see it that, Ukraine is destroying Russia. Maybe they see it that, look, Russia's destroying Ukraine and they're going to capture the capital. And look, they surrounded the capital and they're already taking the ports. So look how easy it is for us. Maybe that's how, China sees it. And that tempts them to go into Taiwan. DDS says, we can hope some in Russia near him take out. Never count all probabilities out. Rick says, Rick already said, I already read that, Rick, where the world's going down the toilet. Thomas says, I give Russia by Friday to give up and go home. Do you think so? Do you think Russia will say, you know what, we've suffered enough casualties, let's leave Ukraine now? And maybe that's a better option for us? Or do you think that Russia says, screw everything, even if we were to lose our entire military, Ukraine is taken down. We will take Ukraine down, and if we lose, we will make sure the world loses. And that's something that Putin has affirmed, by the way, reaffirmed multiple times. He's saying, if Russia goes down, there's no world that's good enough to live in without Russia. So he will destroy Russia. Destroy the world if Russia goes down. It's all or nothing. That's what Putin's saying. It's his way or the highway. Ivan says, I think Ukraine is going to lose half of its supplies because now the international community needs to save Taiwan. Guys, make sure you please hit the like button, guys. There's 40 of you. If everybody hit the like button, we'd be at 40 likes already. So please hit the like button. Guys, this is the discussions I want to have. If anybody wants to participate in this discussion, we'd be more than happy to bring you on the stream. All you have to do is go in the link below, join the Discord, and we'll welcome you on. Just join the Discord, link is down below. That's all I'm asking. If you want to participate, and we'd be more than happy to start up a conversation. Rick Thomas says, like up. John says, a check. Perfect. Thank you so much for the like. Lion says, me like, oh yeah. That's perfect. But again, this is really a critical time for you know, Ukrainians, Russians, and everybody at this point. The entire globe. Nobody knows the outcome of this war. Nobody knows how this war could really, you know, the result of this war. Maybe this is a domino, and it triggers a bunch of other. Maybe we finish from Ukraine, and we go into Taiwan, and then we finish from Taiwan, and we go into North Korea trying to take over South Korea. And it's just a domino of wars where you know, anybody that feels like they're big and powerful tries to take over their counterparts. Maybe that's what happens, and that's how, you know, it just continuously tumbles until somebody throws a nuke, and that starts World War III. Maybe that's what's happening. Again, as of this point in time, it is really, really, you know, unknowing the future. You have a bunch of countries attacking, you know, you have Ukraine attacking, or Russia attacking Ukraine. Nobody's interfering. Rick says, I never thought I'd see a pandemic and a possibility of World War III. We finish from the pandemic, and right away you head into World War III. Just imagine that. No chance for anything. You know, you're not even going to break in between. It's just, you know, you finish from one, you go into the next. United States needs presidents who know what he's doing. Says John A. Colin UK says, what will the Russians do with Zelensky captured? They will probably, definitely, make a show out of him, for sure. Again, they want to show that, you know, they want to show that they've captured him. They want to destroy the morale of the resistance. But what you don't understand is, Zelensky's in Kiev, and there's no way, you know, they're going to be able to capture him, you know, unless they break through the Kiev resistance, which right now is demolishing the Russians. Noodle says, oligo chip shortage forever. The world's semiconductor industry requires neons. Ukrainians make over 70% of the world's supply of neon. So do you think basically Russia's going in for the supplies? Jack says, if you're in the US, you probably need to prepare to leave. It's not safe there. Lots talking about attacks. Do you think, you know, Russia's going to attack the US? Is that what you think? Guys, again, all I ask from you guys is to hit the like button. Please share this to your friends and family. Let them know what's going on. The more likes, the better. The more the YouTube algorithm really pushes it up. Rick says, we gotta stand behind our president. Thomas says, let's go, Brandon. Leon says, we've come out of a pandemic straight into an escalation war. Zelensky is a legend. Chris says, we just hit him with the sanctions that sent them back to the Stone Age. If there are to be nukes, it would be over sanctions. But again, you have to understand, Russia has been sanctioned for years now. Really, and they were preparing for sanctions. So a lot of their economy is based around the Russians anyway. So I don't think they really could care less about these sanctions. So no, I kind of disagree with the point. that if Russia was going to go to war, it'd be because sanctions, because they already know how to really, the loopholes to the sanctions, and every sanction has a loophole. Noodle says, like 25. Rick says, thanks for hearing me out. I'm out. Thanks for hearing me. I'm out. All right, take care. Toja says, you have to be pro-Ukrainian, even if they've made mistakes, because Russia is looking to eliminate their culture. The Ukrainians fighting to preserve their culture, not their government, are no good. Guys, this is breaking news. A second Russian general has been killed in the war with Ukraine as of 20 minutes ago. And now we're talking about what is the result of that. What will Russia do when they hear news like that? That their generals are getting killed, their soldiers are getting killed, their tanks, warships, equipment are getting destroyed. What does Russia do? Does Russia decide that they want to destroy Ukraine and start launching missiles left and right, destroying every part of Ukraine, making it into rubble? Or does Russia decide to leave Ukraine as a whole? We are hearing your side of the story now, so let us know. And of course, if you want to participate in this conversation, join the Discord. The link will be down below, and just message that you're interested. MMJW says, I agree with Rick. Colin UK says, there are worries what the Russians intend to do with the 2 nuclear power plants they have under control. Again, Russia is really, there's a possibility Russia wants to definitely use a nuke indirectly. And we've seen that when they try and launch rocket attacks on those nuclear plants. They know that a rocket attack landing at a nuclear plant could cause a nuclear explosion, which means they wipe out the entire city. And maybe that's what they decide to do instead. Maybe their decision is to, bomb those nuclear plants and claim, oh my god, look, the city got wiped out. And they didn't use nuclear weapons, so they kind of get away with it. Because they didn't use a nuke. They just destroyed the nuclear facility and it lit a nuke. Maybe that's their plan. What do you guys think? Lion says, I'd like to visit Ukraine someday. Again, we have our colleague on the line to join the discussion as well. So if you're looking to participate, again, guys, the Discord is always open. Let's bring our colleague on the line here. But this is where things are going to intensify, really. Robble says China is responsible for the war.
Hello. Okay, great. Thank you for everybody in the stream. Thank you for being here. You're getting live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. And where it's right now, it's about 6 a.m. These are the tense hours of the night that we are always worried about. These are the hours that normally we get airstrikes, and it's the cover of the night for the Russian military. So we will see how things roll. You guys are seeing the latest breaking news on the top as well. If you've not clicked the like button, let's get some likes there. We have 32 likes. Let's make sure we get 35 likes. I know you can do it. Hello, Crosby. Hello, Tedes, John.
We're just going to get your opinion on this. So,
yeah.
The second Russian general, as of 20 minutes ago, has now been officially declared killed as by the Ukrainian military. What does that really mean for the Russian side? In terms of losing one of their top commanders, he was a senior commander of the Russian platoon that was in, Ukraine battling. And
do you know what city? Do you know what city he was battling in?
Kharkiv. So the second largest city, again, a major city.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a big deal. I mean, the general of the ground platoon, that's no joke. And this is going to show that really the Russian military is suffering a lot worse than a lot of people thought. For the second largest in command in the Ukrainian fights right now to be killed by the Ukrainian military, the second largest Russian general. It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. And it really goes to show, again, a lot of people saying that, the Russian military is not putting out their full power, and they're losing because of that. But if you're having your general, that is a big problem. And this is going to show that even with your full power, you're not able to protect those that are fighting for your sake. MMJY, hi Canada. Hello, MMJY. How are you? So yeah, this is. Go ahead.
Do you think that maybe Russia now decides to say, that's it, we don't care, we're sending in every troop we have, we're destroying, Ukraine, because they're suffering serious losses, losing your commanders, and this is not the first one, this is the second commander.
Yeah, I really think that the Russian army is aware of that. If you remember when we did an interview with somebody from, the person that was pro-Russia, pro-Putin and from Russia, he said, you know what, we don't care. And he said, this is not the Russian leadership. This is the Russian people saying, we don't care if soldiers die. We don't care if generals die. They've signed up to do this, to fight for our country, and this is them fighting. John says, I can't hear well. So is the voice bad? So he's saying, the people of Russia know that these people are to die. And I think the Russian leadership has made it clear that they're willing to sacrifice whoever it is in order to achieve the missions. And if it means the second in command, the second in command. I still think, though, that the people that are really of significant value to the Russian military, they're still in Russia. I don't think there's, those that are highly trained and highly skilled. The real leadership it remains within Russian borders. I was reading a statistic yesterday that about 90% of the Russian troops that were inside Russia on the Ukrainian border are now inside Ukraine. So this is again going to show that the Ukrainian military feel like there's not enough. It's not enough, or the Russian military feel like the forces that they put forth are not enough.
Could this be a trigger, and like I think somebody asked in the chat, could this be an indirect trigger to World War III? And I'm going to tell you how and why I say this. We've seen, the nuclear plants are now taken over by Russia. Both nuclear plants, the biggest nuclear plant in Europe is now taken over by, Russia. And especially after a direct missile hit the nuclear plant. Is it possible that maybe, Russia says, if we go ahead and nuke Ukraine, nuke Kiev, we're going to go into World War III, and then we're screwed. It's going to be the end of the world. But could they decide that let's indirectly trigger those nuclear power plants to go off, and that way we didn't nuke Ukraine?
No, there's no advantage to Russia, using nuclear weapons to destroy Ukraine. Why would they want to do that? I mean, it's not an advantage for them to nuke Ukraine. Roby, what's up, member? How are you, Roby? Roby says CIA killed generals. So yeah, I don't think the Russian military or the Russian leadership want a nuclear war. But the thing is, that what they're saying, and what I think is really true, is that they are willing to go into a nuclear war if need be. So if they feel their own national security, or they're at risk of losing the war, then they may use that as their way out. But I don't think they want a nuclear war either. I don't think Russia does. Guys, let's get 5 more likes. 5 of you, come on, click that button. Do the honor and get us 50 likes. Yeah. John says I can't hear him.
Yeah, he's saying he can't hear me. Yeah, my voice was so low for some reason.
Ian says CIA and the British Marines are in Ukraine super undercover special ops. They better not get caught, Ian, though. Honestly, I think it's really risky. I think United Kingdom's made it clear that they're not going to get involved. So we'll see. Kellen says Russia may have the most power, but all actions have consequences. Absolutely, and this is the case with every single war. You go in, you may have the power, but the power shifts. You got to remember that too. No country is going to maintain power forever.
Is it possible that the world is actually sending troops, but they're just appearing like Ukrainians? So. What if in this example, let's say the United States sends their troops, their troops in the name of Ukrainian soldiers. So now if they get killed, they're Ukrainian soldiers. They're not Russian. They're not U.S. troops. They're Ukrainian.
No, I don't think. The thing is, I don't think it'll happen on a wide scale. I think what's happening is perhaps they are training Ukrainian soldiers outside of Ukraine and then putting them back in. That I can see happening. But there may be people volunteering, right? There's people that were in the military in the United States that are volunteering. But I don't think it is a full-scale thing that is adapted or taken up by government. Noodle so it says foreign fighters provide cover for special ops. Absolutely, that can happen. I agree with that. But I don't think that any of them are endorsed by specific countries. Noodles.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they kind of, again, you get 1,000 troops from here, 1,000 troops from there, all specially trained. 1,000 troops from NATO. Again, 1,000 well-developed troops with tons of military supplies, like what's happening, could change the game, right?
It's gonna force Russia to put in more pressure and power on the fight. I don't think it'll change the end game, other than that it will lead, to be honest, to a bigger civilian casualty count. I really think. Listen, nobody agrees with Russia's decision to get into Ukraine, but I think the more of a fight that the battle for Kiev is, I think the more you will see Russia targeting civilians. And this is a pressure point that a lot of countries use in war, right? You start hitting infrastructure and targets that scare the enemy off, right? So they want to scare the Ukrainians. If Russia starts targeting, buildings, or they start targeting some serious infrastructure, it's a disaster for the Ukrainian people that will still have to continue to live in this country after the Russian troops eventually go back. So, and I think I see that coming in the coming days. I really see the Russia start targeting serious infrastructure in Kiev, particularly, and around Ukraine. I mean, they've already done that in Kharkiv, and they've done it in Odessa. They're doing it on all these outskirts of Kiev as they approach the capital. Robbie says no CIA involved. I don't think there's any serious involvement by any government organization. I think there may be some individuals that are not part of the government that are being supported, perhaps in form of training or on certain equipments and supplies. But I think that in terms of legitimate government, involvement, I don't think that exists. John says, glory to Ukraine. Kellen says, I'm quite surprised that Russia hasn't reached the capital yet. No, look, Kellen, I think they have. There are forces right now around the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, but those forces are not trying to, at least not at the capacity or the will of, not as strong as they could to enter the capital. So there's a bit of a holdback. Guys, please click the like button. Let's try and get to at least 100. I don't know, it's still 47 of you. I know we can't get 100 likes, but let's try and get 100 people on the stream. Share it with your friends and family. Let's get things rolling, guys. I know we can do better than this. Leon says, Ukrainians will fight till the last man or woman. Absolutely. I think the people of Ukraine will fight until the end. I do think they will, but 14 likes, 47 listening. 38 likes we have. But I think, again, they say numbers beat bravery. There's a saying that says that, numbers beat bravery. So if you have one brave soldier, or you have 10 not so brave soldiers, most likely the 10 will win. Crosby says, are they still going to carpet bomb? I do think that is happening. That's going to happen. It's happening right now in the cities on the outskirts of Kiev, but I don't think it's happening in the capital. Well, it isn't happening in the capital yet. You can see a lot of images in front of you. But I think that's what we're looking at happening in the next couple of days. Harkanwan says, Preet Singh, so why is the U.S. still buying oil from Russia? I think there was talk recently of that going to stop in the next little while, but the price of oil is really hitting hard the American people and the general public. And right now, in some parts of the states, it's $7 a gallon, Harkanwan. So it's a really tough for them from an economic perspective to say, you know what, people, you need to pay $10 a gallon. It's big trouble. So that's why a lot of countries are hesitant to do that. You have to remember the price of oil right now in Russia is like $1.80 a gallon, and in the United States it's $8, and the per liter it's like 40 cents in Russia. So Ian says, a lot to blowing up Putin. I did already. Lol to blowing up Putin. I did already. Johnny says, a running car can kill many. A running man can kill many. Yeah, well, I still think, again, Russian soldiers and Russian military capacity, at the end of the day, no matter how long of a battle this goes, will end up winning. But I think the Russian military will get a good, will be hit hard, in the process. Is it worth it? Probably not. Ivan, maybe the Russians are going to surround Kiev and let the Ukrainian forces starve to death. Well, the Russian forces have already surrounded Kiev, and right now what they're asking for the people of Kiev to exit the city so they can bomb the hell out of it. And we'll see what happens. John, Biden destroyed the U.S. energy sector. Well, it is what it is right now. We kind of had to deal with what's today. The rest of it is all politics, and we'll never know the real answer for. Noodle says no. Kellen says everybody should just shut Russia out of the economy, and the world will just shut them out and destroy the Russian economy. Ian says I clicked Discord but got crypto invite page. Am I a noob? No, you're right. It's called. We were primarily a crypto channel before all of this started, but so it is right. It'll say Crypto Geek, right? Geek News.
Yeah,
News
that's
Geek.
correct.
Yeah, so that's okay. Join on the Discord. You can talk if you want. We'll put you on. So, guys, right now it's 6 a.m. in the capital of Ukraine, in Kiev, as Russian forces continue to surround the city. Rubble already down 50%. Yeah, it is down 50%. But again, Russia is used to sanctions. So, Tortot says, I'm back. Welcome back, Tortot. Click the like button.
Tater tot. Yeah.
Tater tot. Oh, I keep messing up the name. I always pronounce names very strangely wrong. Noodles, but the Soviets have a train-based fast pipe system that can lay pipelines into war zones. Thomas says, if Russia nukes Ukraine, what do you think will be the consequence by NATO? I think nothing. I really think NATO has kind of stepped on the side in this whole conflict. I don't think they're going to do anything.
So even if Russia nukes Ukraine?
I think even if Russia nukes Ukraine, no one's going to do anything. I think the only time that something will happen is if Russia decides to go into a NATO country. Then you're going to get a bit of a battle. John A says, that's for keeping the lights on. Good night. Good night, John. Click the like button before you go. Close the door after yourself.
Hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button on your way out. MMJW, night, John. Yep, good night, John. Tater tot. Will Kiev be okay? I'm so worried. I think Kiev is looking tougher for the people of Kiev every single day. Why is 50 viewers such a tough mark?
Yeah.
Guys, let's get past 50 people watching live. I know you can do it. It's like 42, 48, 49, 50, 41. It's strange. It is really strange. Like you see the numbers and then they just... It's like the moment one 10 person walk in, 11 have to leave. Interesting. Guys are getting live images from the capital of Ukraine. I'm going to give you a bit of a hype voice to see how many of you will join. 6 a.m. right now in the capital of Ukraine. Ian, good to see Don with no major attacks. Yeah, absolutely. So, guys, 6 a.m. in the capital of Ukraine as we are hearing about some possible airstrikes in and around the capital of Kiev, including Kharkiv. What is happening? Kharkiv, Odessa, Lviv. Noodles, the Russians are really starting to disappoint me. I think they're disappointing the entire world. You guys are getting the live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. If you want to hear a bit earlier on, we did hear some sirens, guys, and there was some bit of a movement, air movement, in the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. There's also, we heard a bit of gunfire as well. It sounded like a firefight there between the Russian and the Ukrainian side. So it is a bit of a tense situation, in the last little while. It has calmed down over the last couple of minutes, but at any moment things can escalate very quickly. So let's try and get this to as many people, get as many people aware of what is happening on the ground in Kiev as this offensive by Russian forces advances. Again, sirens were heard just a little while ago, and there's a light right there in the bottom right camera that just started. The sirens were heard a little while ago, and there was a bit of gunfight. It appears in the capital. Also, there are reports of some bombardments on the outskirts of Kiev, Kharkiv and Odessa appear to be the targets of those bombardments. If you've not yet clicked the like button, please do that. We'll keep you aware of what is happening on the ground right now in Ukraine, in particularly in Kiev, Odessa, and Lviv. Please, 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 we're doing our best to spread the message here, giving you live images from the capital. Do your best by clicking the like button, sharing it with your friends and family on Twitters and Facebooks and all that good stuff. If you want to get involved in the chat, there's a link to Discord. You can do that. MMJ says it's 10 p.m. here by Lake Michigan. I headed out. We'll check on you tomorrow. Well, good night, MMJW. Thank you for coming in and for being here. Noodle says NATO will prefer to keep Ukraine a NATO weapons test range. It's a countermeasure. The ground war is required for accurate skills. Some people are saying that the part of the reason that this war had started or that was going on is because Russia wanted to do some testing of some of their military equipment. Obviously, that doesn't seem to be the case, because if they were doing that, then their equipment is pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly. I said that deems all of their equipment that they've used useless.
Rami says, God bless Ukraine. Thank you, Rami. Guys, again, getting live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, as this conflict continues going on, and as we continue to hear sirens over the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. Again, there is sounds of a bit of a gunfight on the outskirts of the city, as we hear of a possible attempt for Russian forces to push deeper into the city of Kiev. We did, even in the chat a little while ago when we were recording, there was sirens and what appeared to be some artillery strikes. Again, not sure if it's if it's just the outskirts that those were targets of, or if it is deeper into the city. But we didn't see any smoke or anything in the city center. As you can see in here, there's no smoke, but there was a sound of an explosion. So if we figure out anything or hear anything, we will let you know. Ian says, "What internet you on? Starlink? I heard that was dodgy for being traced." No, we're not using that. We're just using standard internet. Again, guys, if you've not clicked that like button, please do that. Let's spread the message. Send it to your friends and family and on Twitter and Facebook. Let's give the people the right image of what is happening on the ground. I know at any moment things can intensify, and if this message is not spread out, no one's watching, then you're likely to see more devastation and more innocent people harmed. So let's try and get this spread out to as many people as we can. Click the like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. And let's try and push through and keep as many people aware. I will try and stream, even if it means streaming for 24, 48 hours, however long is needed to keep you guys aware and on the ground, sort of with what is happening in the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. I also have some cameras for you guys, as you can see, in Lviv and Odessa. So you're getting the live footage from all over. Totus says, "Who has won an asymmetric war in the modern era?" You let us know, Taras, who you think won the asymmetric war. I don't even know what an asymmetric war is. Yeah, you guys are getting live images. You can see the center of Kiev right there on the left corner. That is the main part of Kiev, and this is where a lot of the political stuff happens. So we're concerned that there might be airstrikes to that, especially that the Russian leadership appear to have hinted at making strikes to major infrastructure in areas in Kiev, and they have asked for people to evacuate the city over the last little while. So we'll see if that is going to happen today. Now, remember, I don't think many people are going to be evacuating while the curfew is still ongoing, right? The curfew is until 8 in the morning, so there's still a bit of time before that curfew is lifted. But I assume there's going to be some mass evacuations of the city after the warning by Russian forces that they will enter Kiev in the coming hours. So we will see what happens in the next little while, if this is just an empty threat by Russian forces, or if this is something that they're going to take on seriously and attempt to push through the city. I don't think the Russians are playing when they say they're going to enter the city of Kiev and push through. I think they will attempt to do that over the next couple of hours. So we will see what things are looking like, and we will keep you posted. Again, about an hour and an hour and about 50 minutes before the curfew is lifted, and we're probably going to see some evacuations of the city. Now, The city is a city of about 3 million people. I know there's about reports in all of Ukraine. There's been about 1 million people, refugees that have left Ukraine. So there has been about a quarter of them, I would say, are from the city of Kiev. But those numbers are going to probably be a lot higher over the next couple of days, with the Russian army asking people to evacuate the city. Because they are going to be doing mass targetings of air defense systems in the capital. And once those air defense systems are taken out, then you're probably going to be seeing some targeting of infrastructure as well. And the United Nations, although Russia has said that they will open safe passage, the United Nations are making it clear that they don't believe Russia will do that, and that they think that safe passage, that they want a UN sort of approach to monitoring the safe passage of the Ukrainian civilians. So even the United Nations know that there's going to be some serious airstrikes on the capital. Ruby says, "Night, bro." Good night, Ruby. Thank you for being a member. But yeah, tough spot right now for the people of Kiev, as we're likely to see some mass airstrikes in the city. Let's hope that they're calmer than we anticipate, but it is looking a bit rough for the people of Kiev. Like I said, there's expected to be some mass evacuations of the city in the next little while. Right now, the city's under curfew, and that curfew is not going to be lifted for at least an hour and 50 minutes. And after that, we will see if there's any action or any mass evacuations of the city by the people of Kiev, or whether they will maintain ground. Toda says, asymmetric war is a form of irregular warfare, violence, conflicts between normal militias and infantry, less equipment, support, infrastructure, but resilience and motivated opponents. Yeah, I imagine that the people of Ukraine, especially the people of Kiev, are going to give the Russian troops a fight for sure to enter the city. But again, the damage within the infrastructure is probably going to be huge for the people of Kiev. And it's going to be a tough fight, really, for them. And I really have a hard time believing that they're going to be able to prevent the Russian forces from entering the city. Now, whether the Russian forces can continue to maintain that access that they developed to the city, that's a whole different story. But yeah, it's a tough spot right now. And again, let's just hope. So there were reports that Zelensky had left the capital, him and his family. No, those reports were unconfirmed. I did see a video today. It wasn't confirmed as well. He was showing himself from a window in the capital, supposedly. So there's two conflicting reports. Guys, if you've not clicked the like button, 6 more likes and we get to 50. Please click that like button. I'm giving you live images from the capital of Ukraine and from Lviv and Odessa, different parts of Ukraine. I'm doing my best to keep you live and keep you aware of what is happening on the ground. Do your part as well by sharing the stream with your friends and family on Twitters and Facebooks. Okay, guys, what is this? It's mass birds moving there. But yeah, do your part by sharing the stream with your friends and family and those, on Twitters and Facebooks and all that good stuff. This is weird, though. I've never seen these birds. So they say animals have their instinct. They're aware of what is happening, or if there was a bomb maybe from that area. But yeah, so we do expect lots of action over the next little while from the capital. Let's hope that we don't have as civilians remain safe. That's what we can hope for sure. But again, still about an hour and 45 minutes before the curfew is lifted, and we're going to keep an eye on the Ukraine-Poland border, as we expect some mass evacuations of Kiev and the surrounding cities in the next couple of hours. We have cameras on that are on the border crossing between Ukraine and Poland. But we won't put that on stream just yet. We will keep that until the curfew is lifted. You won't see too much action. Over the last little while, what we have noticed is that the only people that appear to be leaving during curfew hours from Ukraine over to Poland are in ambulances. So it appears like injuries, probably from those that are closest to the front lines on the outskirts of the capital, Kiev. But a tough situation right now in the capital. And let's hope it doesn't continue to be that way, and that we get a bit of calm at least in the capital, and a bit of ease for the people in there, the families and the children. And like I said, the capital has about 3 million people, but there's been about 1.5 million that have left all of Ukraine, with about reported to be about a third from Kiev. So we will see if there's still some more people that are waiting to leave, or if those that have wanted to leave have left. Guys, about 8 more likes until we get to 60 likes. Please click that like button and make sure you share this stream with your friends and family, and on Twitters and Facebooks and all that good stuff. Let's try and spread the message of what is happening right now in the capital, all over the place. That's the least anybody can do, and we're doing our part, giving you the live stream and keeping you updated with the latest. So Ian says, I can't see him leaving. Sure not. He's a legend. If he dies, it will be a travesty, but it's already. Crosby, do you think Russians will disable the live cams when they capture Kiev? I think Russians don't care right now about, maybe they won't disable. I think they don't care if the world sees them attacking Kiev or attacking any part of the Ukraine. I think they want to show that they have the military capacity to be able to achieve anything they want to. So I don't think they care. Ian said Zelensky. I really have a lot of belief in Zelensky. I know that even within the Ukrainian people, not everybody, nobody better touch my Zelensky. Tater tot says that. Again, guys, if you've not clicked the like button, we're about 4 likes away from 60. Let's go ahead and click that like button. Do the honor of getting us to 60 if you can. DDS says the Russian army will forever stand as the worst example of how an unprepared army will be met by its opponent. We'll be introducing the army academies of all countries. We will see. Yeah, I do believe that Russia went into this. I don't know about unprepared. They've been preparing for this for months. For them to come out and say we were unprepared, the Russian army it makes no sense. But fact is, they have performed very bad in this war. I'm just going to disconnect guys for 2 seconds.
Yeah, but again, really, it's gonna again if Russia really takes a big hit right now, and I think like my colleague said right here, they've been preparing. You're talking amassing hundreds of thousands of troops on the border of Ukraine. That's preparation, but they definitely will fall under the category of, being very ill-equipped in terms of all of their weaponry, and definitely something that shocks and will shock the world basically forever. Yeah, that is what I have to say about that. Zelensky peace sign says Lion. We are only like 3 likes away from 60 likes, so hit like button. Is Zelensky still in Kiev? I think my colleague already said. There was a video that showed him we're basically recorded outside of the window, and was saying yes, like I'm still in Kiev and I'm still fighting for my freedom. So, by that unconfirmed source, Zelensky will most likely still be in Kiev, in the capital of Ukraine. And we're closely paying attention to what's going on, and I know that was a bit loud here, but...
Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Perfect, guys. So thank you for continuing to join the stream. We're seeing some live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, where it's 6:20 right now a.m. in the capital, and where the curfew sits up until about 8 in the morning. Now, if you've not clicked the like button and you're new to the stream, please click that like button. If you've not shared it, the share button is right down there, and click share and share on your Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. With that said, you're looking at, again, pictures from the capital. Airstrikes are expected in the coming hours as per the threats. Old school ringer. Yes. Pictures are, as you can see, we expect airstrikes for today, as was threatened by the Russian military, and as was indicated even by Ukrainian leadership that they had been warned by Russian military that today would be the day that the Kiev would be, there'd be some mass airstrikes on the capital. Also, they have supposedly opened up the way for civilians to be evacuated, and there's planned evacuations for people in Kiev before that starts. So we'll see how well that goes. The last time that was planned was for Kharkiv, and what happened there, it lasted about half hour, and then the entire ceasefire went into shambles. So we will see. The United Nations has made it clear that they don't believe that Russia or Ukraine, both sides will not respect this ceasefire. So they're asking for that to be guaranteed by both sides. So we will see. And then there was reports also that the United Kingdom ambassador says to the United States that the war with Russia is not going as planned, according to the Russian indication. So 90% of the Russian troops on the outskirts of Kiev outskirts of right outside of Ukraine have now entered Ukrainian territory as Russian forces begin to amass around the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. They have already surrounded Kharkiv, Lviv, Odessa, so they're surrounding the vast majority of cities right outside of Kiev. But right now it's about the capital and how that will progress. All right, guys. So we're going to keep streaming, even if it means streaming for I don't know, maybe we'll do a 24-hour stream. What do you think? Maybe we'll do a 24-hour stream. But we need your support, guys. You can support the stream by making sure you share it with your friends and family, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff, and you click the like button. The link for the Discord and the Twitter and all that good stuff is in the description. So make sure you join on there and you retweet and do all the good and fun stuff that you can. With that said, guys, you again seeing some live images. About, I think, an hour and a half that you'll start seeing more people out on the streets. Now, whether a mass amount of people is going to be out on the street, we're yet to find out. Nobody really knows how many people are going to evacuate the city of Kiev. Total in Ukraine, so far, there's about 1 million people that have left Ukraine. Refugees that have left Ukraine through the Poland crossing. Now we have video camera that runs right at that border crossing. So if we see some mass movements on there, we will let you know as well. Colin says, I see the only end to this conflict will be World War III. Let's hope this will not happen. I think there's an end that's outside of a world war. I think another end to this could be that Russians are able to get Kiev and then they drop away. They change the leadership, or they do something with the leadership and then they walk away. Or that it's too much of a fight and they find a solution somehow. I don't think that's likely. Could happen. Anything could happen. Guys, let's push this stream to 100 people watching live. If we can push it to 100 people watching live, I would be so happy with you guys. Please click the like button if you haven't. You can tweet it, retweet it, or tweet it on Twitter with some hashtags, and I'm sure it will help. But you're getting live images. We're doing our best, guys. Support us by clicking that like button and sharing. All right, so the capital is looking a bit peaceful right now. It seems like this is the This is the calm day, as they say, before the storm. Ian said, I hope Putin will get taken out by minions. I hope as soon as possible. Who's the minions? Who's the minions that are going to take out Putin? Ian. What kind of minions? This is really strange. The watch numbers. It's like YouTube is kicking people off. Taylor says, do you think the Baltics will be safe? I think so. One minute. Bruce says, MSNBC says World War III has started. No, World War III has not started. Right now it's two countries fighting. It's Ukraine versus Russia. DDS says they can't take Kiev. If they covered bomb, maybe. But of the 150, 190 soldiers, they only have 50% to fight soldiers. They only have 1/3 or 50% to fight other logistic doctors and to win city fights. You at least have to have 9 to 10, 6 to 9. 6 to 9 more soldiers. He says one of his men. Guys, getting live images of the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, on this Tuesday morning for the capital. Guys, Ivan, guys, we need to think of the name of the new Call of Duty game based on Ukrainewar. Any ideas? I don't know. Any ideas, anybody? Ian White says, minions means this men. Christopher says, thank you to your coverage, bro. I'm so proud of the Ukrainians, bro. No problem. Happy to provide you with coverage. YouTube is doing something weird on this stream. I have a feeling. I don't know what. Something's being done. Call to arms Ukraine. Ian says, that's the Call of Duty name? Call to arms Ukraine. Geek News, are you still with us? Yeah, that could be a good name. For those of you joining new, if you haven't clicked the like button, please do that. Crosby thinks the new name for Call of Duty based on the Russian-Ukraine war is Call of Duty World War Russia. Evan says Call of Duty Iranian Front. That's a new one. This is really strange. Christopher, Putin has lost the pilot. I think he's dying. This is one of his last wishes in life. What? One of his last wishes in life is to destroy Ukraine? Sam Blue says, I would never put my life at risk in any situation like this. You sign up to fight someone else's fight, you're an idiot. Ian says, Call of Duty, Ukrainian Power. That's the name of the Call of Duty war. DDS, he looks like he are sick. Ivy says, good guys, we need more names. Ivan, are you writing these down, Ivan? I'm probably gonna play Pub 2 while I'm talking on the stream, guys. So I don't know if you'll hear some of the sounds. Welcome to all of you joining the stream now. Make sure you click the like button if you haven't done so already. Getting some live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. Ivan is recording some Call of Duty names based on what is happening in this war between Russia and Ukraine. So if you have a suggestion, leave it for Ivan. Even Reed says, Call of Duty, Trump was right about everything. Be more specific, Ethan. What was he right about? Rich says U.S. versus UA, or U.S. loves UA. Oh, so U.S. loves Ukraine. Didier Rod says, Sam Blue, because of people doing this, you can sit today behind your computer free. You're the idiot, Sergey say. Ivan, Call of Duty, Putin's Last Stand. That is a good one. Not Ivan, Ian. Write that down, Ivan. Write that down. That was a good one. Ian White says, I hate Trump. I will be neutral. Colin says, heard that UK and USA had talks on sending special forces to assassinate Trump. This will be difficult to do, and Putin probably already has plans to use his nukes if he was taken out. I don't know. I don't think that'll happen ever. That they take him out. I don't think that's a smart, or maybe I don't know if it's smart or not a smart move, but I don't know if they want to risk it right now. Plus, it's not like Putin is someone that does not expect. I think I read today that he's had 5 assassination attempts while he was president. So he's not new to people trying to assassinate him. So I don't think it's it's as easy as it sounds. Even if Russia and the United Kingdom will try and plan it. Sam Blue, Ian, I agree. Try living in a country where the orange retard was the head of state for 4 or 5 years. Colin has another suggestion for the Call of Duty name. Call of Duty War in Europe. But it's not in Europe. Well, I guess Ukraine's part of Europe, but they're not an official part of Europe. Ian says, yo, somebody do a Call of Duty picture with our ideas. Who's going to be that somebody? Christopher says, yo, someone do a... Oh, we did that. Christopher says, I don't think Putin is even in Russia, to be honest. No, I think he's in Russia. He's not... There's no safer place right now for him than Russia. I disagree with you. Ian says, game screenshot mashup. As if I say I'm being shot at, I mean in the game. I'm talking about PUBG. I'm playing a shooting Alright guys, getting live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kyiv, as it approaches the morning hours. Right now it's 6:30 a.m. in the capital. We expect that by 8 a.m. we will start to see more people when that curfew gets lifted. Again, there were threats earlier today by
the Russian leadership, the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, would be bombed, and that all remaining air defense systems were going to be taken out. That was reported by Ukrainian leadership as it was informed to them by Russian leadership. So, Russian army basically told the Ukrainian army that they were going to attack today.
So we will see how that plays out.
Ian says, Call of Duty peace finally. Call of Duty is a shooting game. I don't know if they want to hear peace finally. It's an okay game, but kind of doesn't work with the theme. If you have not clicked the like button, go ahead and push that like button. Do the honor. Let's get to 70 likes. Again, it's about 6:30 right now in Kiev. Pretty quiet day so far, don't you guys think? Pretty quiet day in the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. A lot quieter than we're used to. And it does appear that it had snowed. I'm a Halo 3 online fan. I used to play Halo a while back. A long time ago, maybe 10 years ago. Ivan says, Call of Duty Vodka Warfare. That is an interesting one. Oh, somebody's hiding. In the game, the enemy's hiding behind the door. I saw him. Oh my god, he got me. That scared me for real. I really feel like YouTube is doing something to the stream. Because it's weird. It like gets to like 60 and then it goes down. And then it gets to... Ian says, I live in 2016. Nice day there. I hope it stays that way, sir. Colin says, Putin's wife and children are not even in Russia. Really? Is that like a confirmed fact, Colin? Or is that just like somebody saying? This is really weird. Something's happening with YouTube. I don't know what it is. But it is a bit strange. But it feels like YouTube is like trying to kick down my viewers. I don't know. So Christopher says the calm before the storm. Even says Mirror's Edge is a really great game. I'm going to play some Mirror's Edge. What kind of game is that? Guys, 3 more likes until we get to 70 likes. Let's try and get to 70 likes. Oh, it's already 6:40 a.m. in the capital. Only an hour and 20 minutes until the
Curfew's lifted.
Yeah, right now you're seeing pictures from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev. Evan says it's a dying light without killing zombies. News Geek are still on the line with us as well. The prequel isn't that good. We're talking about the game, eh?
Guys, 3 more likes until we get to 70. Let's try and get 70 likes. All right, guys. I'm really disappointed, to be honest. This is weird. We were getting 1,000 people in the stream, 2,000 actually. And then suddenly the stream started, like, just the last couple of days, it's just not been responding. I mean, we're not getting the numbers we're used to. I don't know what's going on. Ian, Call of Duty Molotov surprise. Welcome to the stream for all of you that are joining new. Make sure you click the like button. You're getting live images from the capital of Ukraine, Kiev, right now, where it sits at 6:45 a.m. About 15 minutes until we get to 7, and then an hour and 15 minutes until the curfew is lifted. Ian says, well, whose last stand was my best, I think. Need another smoke. Guys, let's go ham on the like button. Let's share this tweet with your friends and family and Twitter and Facebook and all that good stuff. Please, please, please. Let's try and get the stream going crazy. Let's do this, guys. Let's target. Where does it say? Instance, but shadow ban most probably. Sorry, what is that shadow ban? What do you mean? HUDs, my apologies. Ian, do you have weed in here?
Shadow ban is when Twitter when YouTube hides your stream unless searched for. So why would it? How do we know if it's doing? If how do you know if the YouTube is doing that, Puds? And then that's a good point because it is strange. It's very strange because I see the numbers go up and then they go down. It's like almost YouTube pushes it down. What's a shadow ban? How do you figure it out? How do you know? Or how do you get rid of it? Came up on my suggested for me. Ian says came up. It is strange though. I'm not gonna lie. I do feel like something is wrong. I felt it for the last couple of days. Like I see people with less subscribers and less likes and less everything in there. The numbers are a lot higher. I see even people they're not even talking, no conversation, nothing like that. No conversation, nothing, and it's 100 people live or 200 or 500. And I was getting a lot more before, so it's really. I just all of a sudden, and I do see the numbers. They reach a certain number and then they drop, and then they reach that number again and then they drop again. It's almost like the stock market. Like I would have guessed that would have been like a. That's probably it. Depressing. Still with me too. All right, guys. I'm gonna step away just for a little while. I'm gonna take a little break, and then I'll get right back to you guys. I'm gonna drink a bit of my coffee here. Welcome to the stream for all of you joining new. If one of you is new enough and can click that like button and get us to 70 again, that would be nice. Yeah, they're sweeping snow in the storm in the middle of war. It's nice that they're still trying to keep life as good as it can be in these hard times. I'll speak to you guys soon.
Alright, so I'm back. How's it going, Lee Neely? How you doing, brother? Let's have a quick read at what you guys been doing. I think this is like every single day at like 7 a.m. This music just randomly comes up. Interesting. Rick says, yeah, from News Geek. No, these are not from me. It's quite weird. This I don't even know where this appears from. It almost makes me feel like it's like they put this on, but it's impossible. So I don't know. And there we go. Lee says that is Ukraine's national anthem. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And gunfire. Crosby says it's actually playing in Kiev or in the music on top. This is actually playing in Kiev. It's every single day at 7 a.m. The music starts, the anthem begins, and it is positioned right next to the camera. And at the beginning, I was mind blown. I thought it was coming from my computer, but after time I realized this is from Kiev. And so close to where the camera's positioned, and the camera catches audio, so you can hear it clearly. And we have some clapping in the chat. Thank you. Colin says, like my channel. Lee says they play it regularly. Yeah, but I think I've noticed it's 7 a.m. is where you hear it every single day. Regularly, yeah. And then it gets consistent, yeah, maybe on from there. But I know, like, you can have, I think at 8 is the bells ring. At 7 you have the national anthem. And again, you guys can hear the voices of the birds in the sky of Kiev right now as the invasion proceeds. What are the birds saying, says Colin? Tweet, 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 tweet. They're tweeting, man. They're tweeting on Twitter. Honestly, like, I can only imagine. Like, imagine mornings are my favorite time of the day. Early morning, you know, you get up, the birds are still there. You can see the sun rise. It is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it before. It's like, just go outside before sunrise with a cup of coffee and just watch the sunrise. Truly relaxing. And a man driving his bicycle in the middle of the war zone. The bravery. Lee says, I love you guys. Thanks for the channel. Okay, I'll shut up now. Man, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, Lee. Greatly appreciate it. Rick says, right, colon. Colon says, train the birds to fight the Russian army. Rick says, at this point, any help is welcome. I'd imagine. Colon says, oh, well, too late. End sleep. We'll join you later. So, Colon is planning on training the birds to squeak a little bit louder when they see a Russian soldier. Colin says, take care, everybody, man. Take care. Take care, man. Appreciate you tuning into the stream. Rick says later to be safe, man. But yeah, guys, welcome to the stream. Again, earlier we announced the breaking news that a second Russian general was killed on the Russian side by Ukrainian forces near Kharkiv. And we're about to update you guys with some of the more the latest news here, the latest breaking news. Now, I definitely want to add something, and that is, well, there is some gunshots as well. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Sounds like some artillery fire as well. But of course, today, some more gunfire. It is quite confusing, though, to be honest, especially since today's the day that the Russian ceasefire is supposed to take place. But you can still hear gunfire and artillery fire in the background. Maybe it's training of Ukrainian soldiers, maybe. Thinking of coming ahead here and switching up the cameras. Showing you guys a bit, some of them that are a bit clearer. All right, so we switched up the cameras a bit here, and the reason why I'm doing this is because again we have multiple cameras right now, really looking out on Ukraine, and on Kiev and those cities. But I want to pay attention a lot more to the Air Force and what's going on in the sky. And so this camera that we have available is actually located in an area we are able to see basically the entire sky of Ukraine, and of course in addition to the ground and in the center. And so we are setting that up. Lee says Z is a great leader. Zelensky. Greenway says, I'm sharing your channel. Hopefully you'll get some traffic. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's get the two cameras on the side. They're glitching a bit here, so hopefully I can fix them. Again, it sounds like some crazy gunfire is going on in the background. I don't know if you guys hear that, but DDS says in a video on the messaging service Telegram, Zelensky for the first time since the Russian invasion appears in his presidential office in the center of Kiev, saying, I'm not hiding, I'm not hiding. I've seen that video actually, and again, this was a boost of morale video for everybody that's in Ukraine. It reaffirmed to the Ukrainians that the president was with them, and that again, he is like them, both fighting for their freedom. He says, we do not know if the Ukrainian anti-aircraft artillery or if it was the Russian planes that attacked. But whatever it is, there have been major explosions in the northern suburb of Kyiv. And again, this comes as a ceasefire was supposedly going to be put in place, yet it didn't. Okay, guys, so we have some significant switching cameras that you guys can see right on the screen. And let me know which ones you guys want, and that way I can kind of set them up for you guys. So right here on the left, you have the center of Kyiv and the sky of Kyiv. So that way if any planes come by, we'll be able to get a full visual of exactly Alright guys, so I don't know if you guys have heard me, but we have had a major changing of cameras. We have now the sky of Kyiv, the ground of Kyiv, the ground of center of Kyiv, and then we have one of the Odessa ports. Or one of the ports of Ukraine that has been strategically hit several times by Russian forces to try and claim it as their own. So we're going to keep those on the screen, just closely monitor that situation, and really see where we go from there. So again, this is where we are at. Hoping for de-escalation and ceasefire. At least is looking online. Wish I could find something live on northern Ukraine attack. Can't find. As of now, I'm pretty sure it's been relatively calm. Just some clashes. I haven't seen really any gunfire or any airplane missiles landing. And I really believe that's because Russia's preparing for, a vast majority of Ukrainians to leave Ukraine. At least Russia wants them to leave Ukraine so that they can begin their carpet bombing spree on those Ukrainian cities. Again, we are currently live from Ukraine, featuring you guys exactly 4 cameras as we go ahead and monitor the situation in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. Again, the situation is still in a crucial point. At any point, things could literally flip and could go downwards. But as of now, the morning of Ukraine has arrived. Ukraine has arrived. As of now, the morning of Ukraine has arrived. Kiev has awakened. And again, we will closely monitor how things change minute by minute, second by second as things arrive. All that we ask is that you hit the like button, and you share this to your friends and family, and you let everybody know what's going on in Kyiv by, of course, sharing the stream. Whose warship, top right? I think by what I recall, this is a Russian warship. Again, a lot of these ports that you're looking at are Russian-controlled ports. They were taken over by Russia, and Russia controls them. And that's really the view. But this was also one of the warships that were targeted. It was nearby this area. It was targeted earlier today. It was hit by one of the Ukrainian rockets, and it was sunken around this vicinity. Mike says tanks, no problem.